Hey everybody, what's going on? Alright, so we're going to talk about UFC Fight Night, Overeem versus Sakai. So I went 0 for 2 on the predictions. Horrible week after going 3 for 3 the week before. It's just been hit or miss. I'm usually not this bad, so hopefully this coming week we'll rebound. There'll be 4 fights I'll talk about for this coming week's card. So the one fight I did not go over last week, I just want to talk about it just because the performance was crazy and there were things that were going on in the fight that normally you wouldn't see, and if I was a trainer I wouldn't want my fighter to do this, but it was pretty entertaining. So in that fight, it was in the welterweight division. It was Michel Pereira, I hope I'm saying it right, I know with the Portuguese accent. He fought against Zelim Imadaev. Now, and this was just a blowout. It was a destruction. It ended in the 3rd round with a submission, a rear naked choke. Though I don't think Zelim was actually tapping out, but you know he did look like he was done anyways because he just got demolished the entire fight. But the crazy thing was what Pereira was doing in that whole fight. I mean, you're talking about, he was like, let's say this is the opponent. He was not even looking at him and was like throwing punches. I mean, the craziest thing of them all was, it's fool. Sorry, it's just because it's crazy to me. He's not a fool, but it's just crazy. He told him, I'm going to slap you. You know, he just showed him his hand like this with an open hand and whack! Slapped the dude. He slapped Zelim. Like, and it happened more than once. So that was just crazy. So, I mean, I could not believe that he did that. I mean, like I said, he won by submission. Even if he didn't win, there was like 20 seconds left on the clock. Zelim didn't do anything worthwhile in the fight. He wouldn't have got a late KO. I'm just sorry I don't see it happening. So that was a pretty impressive victory. He's still, you know, if he wants anybody, I would maybe suggest somebody in the top 15. Pereira is exciting. Like I said, he showboats a lot in the ring. Again, I do not recommend that, but hey, you know, to each his own. There. Alright, so if you remember a couple weeks ago, I had talked about Ovince St. Preux versus Alonzo Menifield. Now, this was in the light heavyweight division. That fight got pushed back because on the day of the fight, Ovince St. Preux tested positive for COVID. So it was kind of late minute. I wasn't sure when I made the video last week. It wasn't sure if it was going to happen or not. And that was the fight I predicted Menifield to win. Well, so I'm going to count that, even though it counted against me, because I did pick Menifield to win. Menifield got knocked out. It was not good. He did not look good in the first round. And in the second round, he's kind of like going forward, throwing a punch, and Ovince St. Preux with a beautiful counter left hook, short left hook, bam, gets him, boom, drops him out cold. Done there. Menifield, back to the drawing board for him. I think maybe he needs to take a step back. Maybe fight some guys that are not as seasoned as St. Preux is. So for St. Preux, you know, again, I think he's trying to avoid being a gatekeeper. He has fought, like I said, he did fight John Jones for the title. I mean, you know, so maybe we'll see if he can fight a couple more young guys just to see, maybe a top 15 dude just to see what's going on. And if he can make another run, we'll see there. Now, in the main event, it was Alistair Overeem against Augusto Sakai. Now, if you guys know, Overeem has been fighting since 1999. Yes, 1999. So he's 40 years old. So, you know, I was thinking, you know, his time's done. His best days are behind him. So, you know, and Augusto Sakai up and coming. You know, so I was thinking Sakai might do it. And Sakai actually did look good for the first couple of rounds. But the funny thing was, when my wife and I were watching the fights together, she said, you know what, maybe Overeem's just kind of taking it easy to make sure maybe Sakai will just wear out, and then Overeem will turn it on. And she was right, because that's exactly what happened. In the 3rd, 4th round, you could see Overeem start taking over. What the smart thing he did was he took Sakai down, and he was just pounding him with ground and pound. Boom, just nasty shots, elbows, punches, everything. And, you know, so the 4th round ended, he just kind of looked out of it already. 5th round starts, pretty much immediately takes him on the ground again, just elbows, punches, and, you know, you could see the ref was just like, if you don't do anything, I'm going to stop the fight. And Sakai wasn't fighting back, he wasn't defending. So that was the fight there. So that was the other fight I predicted incorrectly. For Sakai, Again, he's young. He can still rebound. This was a good test for him. I think he needs to work on his cardio because he was doing good for the first couple of rounds, and then he just got tired and didn't have the energy. I think he threw too much power into those shots. For Overeem, he's the number 5 guy. I mean, really, right now it's kind of up in the air to see, but because Blades is fighting Derek Lewis, Ngannou's probably going to fight Stipe Miocic. Or if John Jones comes in there, then I don't know. I don't think Francis will wait and fight Overeem, but that would be a good fight. But maybe Overeem has to wait for maybe the winner or the loser of Blades versus Lewis. Though Blades is his teammate, so I'm not sure how that would work. But yeah, we'll see. But Overeem, again, he knows his time's running out. He's saying it too. He's 40 years old, so he's like, I gotta start making another push for that title. So we'll see what happens with Overeem. All right, so. This weekend's card was originally supposed to be Thiago Santos against Glover Teixeira. Now that fight's getting, I think, in October now. So the main event now will be Michelle Waterson against Angela Hill. So we're gonna go over 4 fights on that card. So the first fight we're gonna go over is Mike Rodriguez against Ed Herman. Now, if you remember, Mike Rodriguez fought less than a month ago. I had predicted him to win against Marcin Praccio, and he knocked him out in the first round. So, he didn't take any damage really in that fight. So I guess he was like, hey, let's do this. Let's turn it around. Let's fight again. He's fighting Ed Herman, who's been fighting since 2002. So he's a wily vet. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. But, again, he's I think he's 38 or 39 years old. So, his best days are against him. He never really in the UFC made a mark and fight for a title or anything. But he's a wily vet. He's been in there with some big names, Damian Maia. But I'm going to pick Mike Rodriguez to win this fight. I think he looked good against Praccio. Now this is a step up for him, so this is good. If he can win this fight, I think he can get maybe a top 15 guy after. Then again, Herman would be a good test because he's a vet, and it's usually a good litmus test for these up-and-comers to see, hey, where do I fit in the picture? So that would be the first fight there. The second fight will be in the women's flyweight division, number 8 Roxanne Modafferi against number 9 Andrea Lee. Interesting thing is both of these women are coming off losses to the same lady, Lauren Murphy. Though for Modafferi, I think that fight kind of went either way. But Modafferi is an older fighter, but I've been watching her for a while, and she's always making improvements in her game. Even though she's 38, you can see she's still she's working on her striking, even though she has the ground game down. It's gotten better. I'm actually going to pick her for the victory. Again, I thought she looked good against Murphy. I thought it could have went either way, really. So I think I'm going to pick Modafferi to win that one. In the co-main event, you got Otman Izatir against Kama Worthy. This fight will take place in the lightweight division. Now, I got to meet Otman. He's actually a really cool guy. He took me out to dinner, me and a few other fighters. I was lucky to actually meet the guy. So this is his second fight in the UFC. He won his first fight by knockout. I like the guy. I think he's good, though I am going to pick Kama Worthy to win. He has fought the better competition. He's on a 6-fight winning streak. He's got power. I mean, Otman doesn't have power. Though, like I said, I think just because of the competition-wise, I think Kama Worthy will win this fight. Not saying it's too much of an upset there. I would like to see Otman win just because, like I said, I met the guy. He's a nice guy. I'd like to see him win. I'll be rooting for him. I just don't know how he'll do against someone like Kama Worthy. But, again, I think Kama will win, but I'm rooting for Otman. So that's the third pick. And then in the main event, that fight will be in the women's strawweight division. It will be number 8, Michelle the Karate Hottie Waterson against number 13, Angela Overkill Hill. This is going to be a fun fight here. So, Angela Hill lost her last fight by decision to Claudia Gadelha. Though you could say, you could say it was kind of controversy, though. She fought a tough fight. I think Gadelha won the first 2 rounds. I think Hill was taking over in the 3rd round. If it was a 5-round fight, maybe I think Hill pulls it out. But it was a close fight. Like I said, she should have been proud of her performance. Michelle Waterson lost I don't know. It was not that great of a fight against Carla Esparza, but I mean, Esparza could do that to you. But Waterson looked kind of lost there. She didn't look good. She wasn't engaging. Angela Hill, I think, is someone that could get her to engage. But I'm actually going to go with the upset here, and I'm picking Angela Hill. The reason why I'm picking Angela Hill is Waterson's kind of, like I said, in the last couple fights, just hasn't really put together. Maybe it's the opponent, because sometimes I could do that if you guys watch fight. Sometimes the person in front of you, depending on the game plan, you might fight a different kind of fight than you normally do. Granted, I think Hill will bring out a different different fighter out of Waterson that we've seen in the last couple of fights, but Hill's gotten better. She's made improvements. Again, the Gadelia fight impressed me a lot. So I'm going to go with her on that fight. So those are my predictions again. You got Rodriguez, you got Kamaworthy, Roxanne Modafferi, and Angela Hill. So hopefully I can go 4 for 4 because I got to make up for 0-2 last week. Next week is a fight I'm really intrigued about. So we'll go over that next week. It's going to be Colby Covington against former champ Tyron Woodley in the welterweight division. So I'm excited for that one. That's got bad blood on it. We'll talk about that fight next week. But yeah, I'm excited for this because then in a couple weeks we have a massive pay-per-view. I am so stoked for that. We'll have a huge video about that one because there's 2 title fights on that and a fight that is just so mouth-watering. But yeah, you know, like usual, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe. This is the Ervits assessment. I assess MMA, other sports. If you guys please have anything you guys want me to talk about with MMA, I don't know, favorite fighters, favorite fights, or just something, you know, please let me know in the comments below. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys soon. Peace.